Hello, my name's Fred Pippin. I'm 60 years old and I live in Gainesville, Georgia. I wanted to take a few moments today and share my testimony with you, not for my own recognition, but that my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ might receive all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise for the things that I'm about to share with you. This is part one. My story starts in late December of 2006 when I had developed a serious sore throat, tonsillitis. My tonsils were swollen together in my throat, and I had a swollen lymph gland, what I thought, in the left side of my neck. So I finally broke down and went to the doctor, and when I did, it started a series of doctor after doctor and test after test, and CAT scans and MRIs and PET scans. And with each test and each doctor that I went to, the results kept coming back worse and worse. Until finally I was diagnosed, after about 3 months later of all of these tests and doctors, with having stage 4 inoperable throat cancer of both tonsils, as well as a malignant tumor of golf ball size in my left neck. I remember going to the doctors, and the third doctor I went to was a surgeon. And I remember him telling me that, Fred, that this is a serious thing that you have right now. He said, it looks to me like it could be cancer. We won't know until we do a biopsy. Well, when he used the word cancer, that certainly got my attention, because I had lost my mother several years earlier with similar type cancer, and I was thinking, that's a bad thing. Well, he proceeded to tell me that the tumor in my neck had grown in around all of my veins and arteries in my neck and nerves, and that it was reducing some blood flow to my brain, and this could cause a stroke. So we needed to get it out as soon as possible. As a matter of fact, he was excited about it, and he said we can do it next week. And he said that also that he said, Fred, this is going to be a very invasive surgery, that not only will we have to remove all of the diseased tissue, but we'll have to remove some of the normal tissue around it, which is also going to include part of your lower jaw. But he thought, with the help of a few more surgeons, that he would be able to remove all of it. Well, you see, I'd had 16 years of previous medical experience in my earlier years, and the fact that he was excited about it, number one, and number two, that he thought he could remove all of it, well, that just brought a whole new meaning to practicing medicine for me. And I knew I wasn't ready for all of that, and I didn't want any part of that right now. And I said, I think I need to get another opinion. But he told me that I needed to hurry up and do it, because the tumor was where it was located, by reducing some of the blood flow to my brain, that I was running the risk of having a stroke, and I didn't need to put it off too long. And I told him, I said, well, I appreciate that, but I've got to get a second opinion before I jump into this. I'm just not ready for this all right now. But I remember one of the things that he did say as he was sitting there. He said, Fred, I'm looking at your chart, and I noticed that you're not married. And he said, this is going to be a very traumatic time in your life, and you're going to need someone to hold your hand and help you through this process. He said, do you have someone like that? And I can remember holding my head down and looking at the floor and saying, no, sir, I don't. Well, I think that was the first time really God heard my cry. And what he did was, within a few days, all of a sudden I had friends from everywhere and family that were calling me, because I told them that what the doctor had said about the cancer, and the word was spreading relatively fast, and I had people coming up to me and telling me, said, Fred, that you know, we're praying for you. Fred, we've added you to our prayer list at church. Fred, we've added you to our prayer list in our Sunday school class. And I was getting cards in the mail. It was even like people that I really didn't even know was telling me all the time that, Fred, we're praying for you. Well, I remember going to Emory. It was on April the 12th. It was on a Friday, to see the oncologist down there. And when I did, I remember him telling me that that was the first time that he'd actually given me the diagnosis of stage 4 inoperable throat cancer and the golf ball sized tumor, malignant tumor in my neck. And you can imagine what I had been through with all the tests and everything, that I really thought this was the end of my road. And I wasn't really looking forward to doing all the treatments and everything. But I remember asking him, what would happen if I didn't do anything, doctor? And he looked at me and he said, Fred, if you choose not to do anything, he said, the cancer will continue to grow. And as it grows, it's going to spread throughout your body, and you're going to die a slow, painful death. And this will happen within about a year. Well, I can remember asking my mom's doctor how long did she have, and he told me 3 months, and she died in 3 days. So I knew that wasn't going to be a decision that I could put off. So he laid out a treatment plan, which was going to consist of some heavy chemotherapy, which was going to involve 3 drugs and involved 2 5-day stays in the hospital with a 2-week break in between, followed by additional chemo once a week and extensive radiation therapy 5 days a week for 13 weeks. Well, this was going to be a long process. So I left there that day, and he had also taken another biopsy of my tonsils while I was there. But we left there that day. A friend of mine had taken me down, and Barry, and we was riding back, and Barry was kind of a jokester kind of guy. He always tried to make me laugh, and matter of fact, he was in the treatment room with me when the doctor gave me the diagnosis. But that turned into a kind of rather quiet ride back to Gainesville that night. And I remember finally getting back home, and that night the Lord and I had a serious talk. And during that time we had a one-on-one talk, if you know what I mean. And I remember telling the Lord, I said, Lord, I'm going to promise you something, that I'm not going to ask why me. Because I've heard that so many times in my life where people have came down with illnesses or situations in their life, and they always ask God, why did this happen to me? So I said, I'm not going to do that, Lord. And if you're ready for me to come home, if you're ready for me to die, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. So I'll do whatever you want me to do, Lord. But I promise you I'll never ask why me.